Greetings, ChampCar world. Welcome to your virtual drivers meeting for your TireRack.com Champ Car Endurance Series event upcoming at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. ChampCar is really happy to be back at the Mid-Ohio course. It's been several years since we've been there. The opportunity opened up quite frankly, after we published the schedule for this year. And we leaped on the opportunity, and man, you guys did not disappoint us. The turnout for this race has been fantastic, and we are super excited to have you guys there. So for those of you that are racing with us for the first time, welcome. Really glad to have you guys there. Hope you have a great time. Hope you come back and race with us again. For our regulars that are running with us, man, I hope you guys have a great time too. Hope you guys keep your cars intact and make it to all the other races you've got on the calendars with us. So across the board, big thank you to everybody. And as always, giant thank you to our sponsors, including obviously TireRack.com and down in no particular order, Frozen Rotors, Racing Radios, Lifeline Fire Suppression, RVA Graphics and Wraps, Bell Racing, the official helmet of Champ Car, NLA Parts, UUC Motorworks, the Chandler School, who sponsors our Sportsmanship Award. More on that at the award ceremony on Sunday afternoon. Our class sponsors, Discovery Parts, MoneyShiftRacing.com, and Krispy Kreme. And while we're talking about Money Shift, this, for those of you who are in it, is the last race in the Money Shift Racing Midwest Championship. So for those of you who are in the running for that, man, good luck. I hope you guys have great success. Looking forward to a really tight finish there. Bill is bringing the bases and the accoutrement and whatnot to hand out the awards for our finishers and our winners in that. So good luck to all of you. I mentioned a few minutes ago, those of you who may be new to Champ Car, first race with us, whether you've raced extensively in other wheel-to-wheel environments or whether this is your very first time racing ever in a wheel-to-wheel environment, please take a few minutes and watch our new to Champ Car video. It's available on our forum, and there will be a link to it in the email that this video you're watching came to you in. If you haven't raced with us before, or even if it's been a long time since you've raced with us, a couple of years, maybe you got some new people on your team, take a few minutes to sit down and watch that video. It's a much deeper dive into how we officiate the race, how we roll the race out, really in-depth explanation of how we manage pit lane, flags, just basically how Champ Car unfolds and officiates a race so that you understand kind of how we're doing things. I am going to kind of blow through this drivers meeting a little bit faster than normal because now that COVID is a little bit behind us, as always with COVID, stand by for last minute changes because there are the new variants out there and whatnot. So stand by for local health regulations to change. But as it stands right now, we can finally get back to doing in-person drivers meetings. We plan to do a drivers meeting a half hour before the start of the practice session on Friday and 1 hour before the start of the race each day. So 8 a.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. Sunday, be prepared to come to an in-person drivers meeting. I'll go into a lot more detail there about pit stops, pit lane, that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to go too deep into that here. I just want to cover some out-front information. Mentioned Friday practice. Now is probably a good time to go through the schedule a little bit and make a huge, gigantic thank you to our friend Brian Tuttle. Brian took it upon himself to rent the track on Friday so that we can get a practice day for you guys. He has worked that out at his own expense. And those of you who are signed up for his practice day, I hope you guys have a great time. Again, we'll have a drivers meeting on that Friday morning. If you are interested in running the practice day, the contact information for Brian is in the supplemental rules, and I'll include it in the email. But basically, just reach out to Brian Tuttle, and he can get back to you about pricing and whatnot. The pricing is per car. It's available to all the drivers on your team. We will have a small race Friday afternoon. It's about an hour long. It's basically going to be a sprint race format. We'll have more information on that as we get closer to the actual day. But because it's a sprint race format and it is Brian's event, some of you may be wondering how come this is part Brian and part Champ Car. And the bottom line is that because we're overlapping the events, it's being included under Champ Car's insurance. So that's why me, Champ Car, is having some say in how we're going to manage things. Also because, hey, we own the timing equipment that we're going to use to do this with. So, because I own the equipment, I get to push the buttons on it. So, but anyway, we'll have a driver's meeting shortly before the event. It will be a sprint race format. Brian's got some ideas on lining the cars up by class. There'll be a driver change included and whatnot, but more information on that at the driver's meeting before the race. And we'll probably talk about it Friday as we get there. Also, again, big thank you to Brian. Brian has sprung for the overnight security. Many of you have asked about load in on Friday. Yes, the gates will open up Thursday afternoon. Many of you have asked about Thursday and overnight. So you can come in Thursday afternoon after 5. You can drop your trailers, drop your equipment. Brian has paid for the overnight security Thursday into Friday, so you can camp and stay on the property. So basically, when you arrive on Thursday, you can stay through the entire race weekend. So again, huge thank you to Brian for making this happen for us. I know hotels are an issue. A lot of you have been asking about hotels, places to stay. So when you see Brian, be sure to thank him. He really worked hard with us on this, and we appreciate it. So take a look at the supplemental rules. I'm not going to go into all the details here about the hours, but please take some time to look through the supplemental rules because there are a lot of things going on, especially Friday on load-in day, as far as what time tech registration opens, what time the practice session runs. Short version on the practice session in the morning, the first part before lunch, it will be point by passing only. You will be allowed to take passengers. Passengers must be in the same driver safety gear as the driver. That's full suit, full restraints, harnesses, the whole 9 yards. It must be the same equipment that the driver is in to be on the track. But because we're allowing passengers, it will be point by passing only in the morning. After lunch, we'll open up the second practice session, be open passing, but no passengers. Okay, and that's pretty standard for ChampCar. If we allow you to have passengers, it's point by passing. No passengers, we'll open it up to open passing. So pretty straightforward there, but please take a look at the times, specifically the times for tech and registration. If you have not already, please, team captains, log into your team's registration and fill out the online electronic tech form. There's a button, if you're a team captain, there's a link over on the right side of your page that says submit a tech form. Click on that form, fill out all your vehicle's information, right? The actual information on the vehicle, brand, year, model, etc. Be sure to look up your base VPI, check the boxes, fill in the blanks down the form, just like you would for a paper form. Items you've got on the car, coilover shock, suspension components, square footage of aero, all that kind of stuff. The buttons are pretty obvious. Either click the button or fill in the drop-down box for 1, 2, 3s, 4s, or fill in square footage of this and square footage of that, and it'll calculate out your total VPI for the car. Save the form. When you go through tech inspection, the tech inspectors will only check the safety equipment on the vehicle. We're just looking for compliance with ChampCar safety regulations. As soon as they hit save on that, go over to registration. Really speeds the process up. We've been using this all year. We started it at VIR in March, and it has been working fantastic. So if you haven't already, please log in and do that. We will not be able to do that at tech. But I know a lot of you want to get out and run the test day. Get out there, run it, have a good time. Make sure you make time to get your car through tech inspection. It is a fast process now with the electronic form, but if all of you try to show up at 5:15, it's not going to work. I am closing down tech at 6 o'clock. So make sure you carve out the time during the day. Keep an eye on the line. When it gets low, only a couple of cars, bring your car over there, knock out tech inspection real quick, and you get back out on the track and be ready to go on Saturday morning. If you already have a 2021 tech inspection sticker on your car, you can go straight into registration, get your armbands for your drivers, your armbands for your crew, your other personnel on your team. Done, easy breezy. If you need to get your driver safety gear checked, bring your safety gear over to the gear checks area. They'll check your safety equipment, your personal driver gear, the stuff you wear, put the sticker on your helmet. It is imperative that you have the correct sticker on your helmet. Pit Out will not let you onto the track if you do not have a 2021 gear check sticker on your helmet. It has happened several times this year, and either one, driver did not take their gear over to gear check, or, and I suspect this has happened a couple times at some races this year, where drivers have been adamant that they got their gear checked, and it turns out later they have several helmets and they grabbed the helmet off the shelf that was not the one that they had gear checked. If you do not have that sticker on the side of your helmet for the person at Pit Out to see, they will not let you out onto the racetrack. When you get to Pit Out, this is your first time with Champ Car, pay attention to this part. When you get to pit out, there'll be a stop sign, a pop-up tent, and one of my staff members. They are going to look on your wrist for your driver band, which is our way of knowing that you're a paid driver in the series and you're allowed to be on track. And they're going to look for the gear check sticker on your helmet to make sure that your gear has been checked properly and inspected. If you do not have those two things, they will turn you around and make you go back and make you get taken care of. It takes up time. You're going to lose positions, and I've rarely seen anybody have that happen to them and wind up being happier for the experience. So do yourself a favor, get your armband on properly through registration and get your gear checked. Okay, just words of things that we've seen happen several times this year that'll smooth the process for you guys. So remember, cars, electronic tech form before you get to the track, get it through tech before tech closes on Friday, go through registration. If you've already got a tech form on your car, you can go straight to registration. Make sure all your drivers have their gear properly safety checked with a sticker on the helmet before you put them in the car. Okay, easy on that. The rest of the information as far as pit lane goes is available in the new driver video, tech forms, all that kind of stuff. You can look anything up online that you need, but please get that stuff filled out ahead of time. Pit lane, I'm not going to go too deep into there, but just a quick reminder for everybody's sake. Everyone stops at pit in. Pause for effect. Everyone stops at pit in. There'll be a stop sign, a pop-up tent, and one of my people standing there. Everybody stops at pit in. Everybody stops at pit out. Doesn't matter whether you're on pit lane for a full fuel and driver change, or whether you came down because you thought the motor was blown and it turned out that you were just out of washer fluid and you're heading back out. It doesn't matter. Everybody stops at pit in. Everybody stops at pit out. At pit out, they will check your driver band. They will look for the gear check sticker on your helmet. They will check your timer. If you're not familiar with the timer and the 5-minute pit stops, watch the new to Champ Car video because I go into it there in great detail. They will check the timer. If you did not take fuel, and I'm pausing here because if that's a surprise to you, where the fueling is an issue, you definitely need to watch the new to driver Champ Car video. But if you did not take fuel, tell them you did not take fuel and they'll let you go. If you did take fuel, they will check that timer. They will wait for it to get down to 5 or click over to 0 and send you out. If you are fortunate enough to be able to do a full fuel stop and get your car out of your pit box and you get down to pit out early, please do not send your car down with 2.5 minutes remaining on the timer, because we're just going to have to move you out of the way somewhere and wait those 2 odd minutes for the timer to count down. If you're fortunate enough to be able to get a driver change and a fuel stop done that quickly, please take some time in your pit box to let the timer run down, look over the car, check the brakes, look at the tires, do whatever you need to for the car. But please do not send your car down there with several minutes. If your car gets down there with 10 or 15 seconds on it, that's no problem. My people at pit out will give you, a 5, 10 count, send you out, no problem. But if you come down there with minutes remaining on it, we're just going to have to move you out of the way. When you get to pit out, they will do a quick cursory check of your safety gear. This is my gigantic capital L liability statement. It is your responsibility to buckle your driver into the car safely, not Champ Car's. We are doing a courtesy check. We will check and make sure the window net is up by grabbing onto it and giving it a pull. We will look inside and make sure that your shoulder belts are over your head and neck restraint properly. We'll look to see if your chin strap is on. Just visual stuff that we can check. If it's something that we can fix for you quickly by just slipping something into place, my folks at Pit Out will happily do that. But if it's beyond their ability to fix, or it's something that they don't feel comfortable fixing, they're going to either hold you, send you back to your pit, or make you circle around through the paddock. Either way, it's going to take time. So please make sure you buckle your driver into the car properly before you send your driver down to pit out and set him out on the track. Also, be prepared when you get to pit out to stop, have the timer checked, have the safety equipment checked, armband, safety decal on the helmet, and then they'll send you on the track. So if you want information about that, please watch the new driver video. I covered in a lot more detail there. Painfully deep video, just deep dive into all this stuff. Really, really good information. Great stuff. It's a wonderful video. I highly recommend it to everybody. Okay, looking down my list here, pit and garage assignments are included in the email that this video came in. I actually got a pit request today on the day of the filming, and I guess we don't tell them when the video is filmed. Today is, what day is this? It's the 4th. It's a Saturday. So for those of you that sent me a pit request today, As I say always, I will do my best to try and help you with your request, but at this point in time, it may be too late. So, but anyway, pit assignments will be attached and garage assignments will be attached. Look for those in there. When you load into the paddock, there'll be more information in this in the email that this video came in, but there is a distinction between the lower paddock, the middle paddock, and the upper paddock. If you're not sure what those are, please take a look at the diagram in the supplemental rules, because only 2 of those paddocks are going to be available, especially Thursday when you guys come in for drop off. Take a look at that. It's delineated in there. Look for instructions from the people at the track, but not all 3 of those paddock areas are going to be available to us. So look for information when you arrive there about where you can park. Gridding. Saturday morning. It's a pretty long track. So I know normally we roll out about 15 minutes early. I'd like to be a little earlier than that here. So after the drivers meeting, again, we'll try to keep it short because I'm covering some additional details here, but please have your drivers buckled in the car. Again, if this is your first time with us, please get your car to your pit box. Just back them in up against the wall. There's going to be multiple cars, multiple teams per pit box. Get your car backed into the wall there, kind of on a little bit of an angle. My staff will be on pit lane to give you directions, but I would like to start stacking the cars behind the pace car at about 20 minutes to 9. So figure 8:40. I mean, no later than 8:45 do I want to start moving cars so that we can make a 9 flag or 9 o'clock green flag at the start. So I really want to get things moving out there. So please help us out by getting your car in position, get your driver buckled in and be ready to go. As always, just be looking for help from my folks on pit lane. For those of you that have not been to our drivers meeting, we will use our handy dandy brilliant smartphone and we will generate a random pit stall number. That pit stall will be the first team to roll out behind the pace car. We'll go from that number all the way down to pit in, start at pit out, and cycle back. So let's say it's pit stall number 10. We'll go 10, 11, 12, 13, all the way down, and then end with 9. Sunday, we'll go reverse. We'll start with 9, go the other direction up the pit in, start at pit out, and work our way back. So again, my staff will be there to help you out. We do this all the time. It won't be a problem, but just so you know what to expect. The pit stalls, if you're reading the pit assignment list and you're looking at it kind of cross-eyed and you're thinking that I've completely lost my mind, you could be right. But the way Mid-Ohio right now has their pit stalls delineated, they're set up on what they call an IndyCar style pit box, which means the pit boxes are something on the order of 30 feet long. That's why there's so few pit stalls, but there are 3 teams per pit stall. Normally we use a NASCAR style box, which is a little over 20 feet, and I do 2 teams per box. And those of you that normally go to Daytona are laughing or throwing things at me now because I usually cram you guys in there at 3 teams per NASCAR pit stall. So if I can fit 3 teams into a NASCAR pit box, we can easily fit teams into an IndyCar pit box. So that's why the pit stalls are laid out the way they are, because they're painted as an IndyCar style. We will have tape on the wall with our numbers. We're usually pretty good about going along and pulling off any other organizations that have put numbers out there. But if you get there Thursday or you get there early Friday, please do not go down and start setting your stuff up on pit lane until we have a chance to get out there and mark the pit boxes. It is pretty normal. We use a NASCAR style numbering where pit stall number 1 is at pit out and it numbers all the way down to pit in. But please let us get out there and actually mark the pit boxes with our numbers before you start setting up equipment. Occasionally we've had to move people and it's just, I know what it takes to drag an entire pit assembly down there. When you get half set up, and then we come along and tell you got to move 10 or 15 feet, it's problematic, I know. So to prevent you guys from having to do that, please just give us a little bit of time to get down there and mark the pit stalls before you set up. As I said, we're going to do a driver's meeting at the track. Polly asked about this a few minutes ago. Several of you have asked me about this, and I talked to the track. I know we were waiting to get an answer, but I did talk to the track, and I'm doing this based on their recommendation. We are going to run the club course on Saturday. That includes the chicane between turn 1 and turn 2. And we are going to run the pro course configuration on Sunday. So you're going to get to run both configurations. So club on Saturday, pro on Sunday. So I hope that works out for you guys. I'm happy to give you the opportunity to run the track in 2 different configurations so you can experience it both ways. Those of you who have watched races there, pro races, know that for some of the organizations, they do the green flag on the back stretch. even though they run checkers and cautions and whatnot from the flag stand. We are not going to do that. We are going to run all starts, finishes, cautions, everything from the flag stand on the front stretch at the traditional start finish line. So if that helps you just to understand what's going on, there you go. You're welcome. That is all I can think of off the top of my head. I'm going to pause like I normally do and wait for Polly to either shake or do one of these numbers or whichever. And double thumbs up from Polly. I must have done really good this time. So, okay, guys. So really looking forward to being back here. I appreciate you guys coming to race with us. We're really looking forward to a great time. Excited to have you guys there. As always, I hope you guys have a really, really good time. And most importantly, I hope you choose to come race with us again. So please travel safely, and I will see you guys on Friday. Thanks.